You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
France has been thrown into political turmoil once again after Prime Minister François Bayrou was ousted in a dramatic no-confidence vote. Lawmakers voted overwhelmingly against him, with 364 votes cast in opposition compared to 194 in his favor. This result far exceeded the threshold required to bring down the government, and now forces Bayrou to step down after just 9 months in office. The vote was triggered when Bayrou attempted to push through a highly unpopular savings plan worth 44 billion euros, or about $51 billion. His proposal included scrapping 2 public holidays and freezing government spending in an effort to control ballooning national debt. But the move was met with fierce resistance, not only from opposition parties, but also from members within the fragmented parliament. The message was clear. Confidence in Bayrou's leadership had completely evaporated. President Emmanuel Macron now faces the daunting task of appointing a new prime minister, though options remain limited. Names such as Armed Forces Minister Sébastien Lecornu and Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin are being floated, but whoever steps into the role will inherit a political minefield. Both the far right and far left have already signaled they would seek to topple another centrist prime minister almost immediately. This collapse has also rattled investors. Yields on French government bonds have climbed higher than those of Spain, Portugal, and even Greece, countries once at the center of the Eurozone debt crisis. A potential downgrade of France's credit rating later this week could make matters even worse, pushing borrowing costs higher and intensifying fears about the country's fiscal stability. The roots of this crisis stretch back to Macron's decision last year to call a snap election after his party suffered losses to the far right in European elections. That gamble left France with a deeply divided parliament, where consensus is almost impossible to build. As a result, successive prime ministers have struggled to hold on to power. Bayrou's departure now marks the 3rd failed attempt to keep a centrist government afloat. Protests are already erupting across the country. In Clermont-Ferrand, demonstrators mockingly gathered for what they called a farewell party for Bayrou. The far left has called for nationwide protests under the slogan, "Let's block everything," while trade unions are preparing further mobilizations later this month. The political deadlock comes at a time when France faces rising debt, economic strain, and external pressures from conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. Analysts warn that instability in Paris plays into the hands of leaders like Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, who have often highlighted Europe's vulnerabilities. For now, France finds itself leaderless, deeply divided, and bracing for fresh unrest. Whoever takes over as prime minister will face an uphill battle to restore stability, but many fear the real winners may ultimately be the far-right National Rally, which continues to build momentum ahead of the next presidential election. Stay subscribed for more videos.